And an Emmy-winning documentarian, rabble-rousing author of the upcoming book, Mad Cow, Mad Dow, our friend Michael Moore, ladies and gentlemen. Tribune of the people. All right. You know I've been a fan of this book for a long time, The War Against Boys, because I'm still a boy. So let me just start off talking about that a little bit, because, you know, feminism from its beginnings has taken a lot of forms. First, it seemed to be about bra burning. Remember that, Mike, when all the wrong women were burning their bras?
I missed that.
Yeah, that was like the late 60s.
Any pictures of that? Or?
Then it seemed to be about, well, we can do whatever we want sexually. And then it was about the workplace. And now it seems to be about kicking ass. All these movies, Lara Croft, Tomb Raider, Charlie's Angels, Xena, Princess Warrior, everyone seems to be kicking a lot of ass. And
well, 'twas ever so. I mean, there have always been women warriors. So. You go back to the Amazons, there were generals in the book of Judges, and Deborah was a general. And go back to the 1960s and 70s, James Bond, those heroines were not especially dangerous.
James Bond?
In the James Bond.
Pussy galore. If you will.
What's not happening in feminism, the current incarnation on the campus, is not about females being powerful. It's about victimology. In the typical women's studies course, or if you looked at the website of the Ms. Foundation or the National Organization for Women, it's about women as victims and men as predators, and how we're preyed upon by the capitalist, patriarchal, oppressive society.
Yeah.
Sort of the vagina monologue.
Exactly.
You know, philosophy.
That vagina monologue.
Which is, you know, a little bit.
Women are from Venus, men are from hell. Okay, that's the philosophy.
Well, but let me just ask you a couple questions, because I didn't do that well in history, but I just seem to remember...
Except recent history. Right?
Yeah, how many women have like, created factories that have polluted this environment? How many women have started wars that have annihilated millions of people? How many women have, you know, done things? I mean, I think most of the crap in this world came from a guy. I mean, you just think, you know...
please, yes. How wonderful.
It's true, Bill.
That is so not true.
Yeah,
and you should... No, I'm not...
Women are all loving and
No, I think the fact that we were able to get away with all this crap for tens of thousands of years, and we're still in charge, it's a pretty good deal, Bill. You know? And women make up 53% of the population. They vote more than we vote. And yet...
And they don't vote for women.
And Congress, right, that's what I mean. Congress is still like just 10 to 15% women. They still vote for us, even though we are representative of most of the evil in this world.
And that gets me back to my point, which is this is such
a great deal.
I don't buy your theory that women always did this in history. I never knew this, that women could kick ass every time they get into trouble.
Oh, but they've been doing it since Greek mythology. I mean, earlier than the 60s, and, you know, and I loved her, Pussy Galore. We've been doing it for Shakespeare. We've been doing, I mean, women have been kicking ass for...
I'm saying in entertainment as a form of fantasy, the reverse stereotype. I wasn't saying it was the norm. What I'm saying is it's always been fascinating. Joan of Arc. These are characters that are intriguing. So the stories have lived on. And
I think it's intriguing because we as guys think, geez, what if like women really did like take over and kick our ass for everything we've done?
But that's the thing, is that they wouldn't and they can't.
They will. They will and they can't.
Oh, I know they can in the movies. I know you can in the story. I know.
But don't we all just really try to fake it well? I mean, you know, I think that we're all just doing that. I mean, one of my characters that I play on my show is a descendant, if you will, of Joan of Arc. and you know, this is what we do. I don't know if it's reverse
stereotypes, because most women are not warriors, and in combat, you're absolutely right.
And if
they haven't been given the opportunity, just like they haven't been given the opportunity, and I agree with you, to screw up.
If there was an opportunity right here, if there was a madman here right now, every girl in the audience would cower behind her boyfriend, even if it was even if it was a guy who for 5 years had been trying to get into her pants, and she'd been saying to him, I just like you as a friend. Suddenly he'd be the man.
Down on the mat.
Suddenly he'd be the man, and they would want him to do the ass kicking.
Right now. Kick his ass right now.
When trouble starts, they want the man to do the ass kicking. Women are not kicking ass. They want the man to do it
You're
still.
so bitter.
I did.
I'm not bitter. I'm just saying that this is bull. This whole idea that women are out there kicking ass and being the physical ones. They still,
first of all, I'm sure that a great portion of those films being made are being produced by men, and it's a male-dominated fantasy to begin with.
Yeah.
So, as
and
I'm
a good
sure,
one.
Yes.
And a good one.
No.
There's nothing wrong with that.
as I'm sure that, you know, some of the fantasies you've had are driven by your own, you know, prurient kind of, you know, swinging interest.
Well, that's true.
I've known you for a long time, Bill. I've seen you go through a lot of changes about, you know, about chicks. So, you know, don't get too, you
Whereas
know.
you've stayed the same about chicks.
That's
but,
right, honey. And it's always been hot.
Yeah. But
and I noticed it never exactly turned you off.
You guys have like some kind of past thing here?
Oh, I've known Bill since he used to put me on at 2 o'clock in the morning at Catch a Rising Star in New York and torture me to keep me there so he could check me out. But I forgive him.
Oh, the sins of the past revisiting. But
people like it. It's kind of titillating because they're not quite sure where it's coming from. Because frankly, the whole warrior princess thing is wearing my ass out.
Because it's baloney. It is. Women are not going to kick ass.
It's just a movie.
Yeah, it's just.
What do we care?
We're talking about two different things. We seem to be talking about real life, and then we're talking about media. I mean, a movie is a movie. So it's fantasy-based anyway.
Leave the movie, walk out in the real world, the men are still going to be in charge. Big Dick Cheney is still going to be calling the shots, you know? I mean,
but it is a new phenomenon where all these women are actually kicking men's asses. And I'm just saying, in real life, they wouldn't. If trouble started, they wouldn't kick ass. They would go to the man who is with them. And they'd have him. Women always say, you know, killing is never right. Except when it's a spider, a rapist, or Hitler, and then they want us to do it.
What's wrong with that?
I'm not saying anything's wrong with that. I'm just saying, be honest about it.
I mean, there are
kicking
sex
ass.
differences. There's what the French call la différence, and everyone understands men and women are different, except in gender studies, where they say it's invented by culture.
Yeah.
That is the problem, is that many students on our college campus are indoctrinated by these professors who believe that there's no such thing as masculinity and femininity. It was invented by society, and that's just miseducation.
Why is it, though? Why do you think that we don't live as long? You know, we lose our hair and you don't. Our brains shrink as they grow older and yours don't.
Biology.
Yeah, but why? Why though?
Mother Nature.
Why does nature want to get rid of us?
Well,
maybe because we're like.
You said you were the one that you guys are the ones that keep screwing up. Well, sure you are.
I'll tell you what the bottom line is. Women are definitely more spiritually evolved than men, and that's really kind of where it's all coming from.
And you score higher on the SAT.
Where do you pull that out?
I personally didn't.
Wait. I'm curious. I mean, that's an interesting thing to say. Women are more spiritually involved.
We're doing your spiritual work for you. That's what we're here for.
What ass are you pulling this out of, is what I want to know. I mean, it's easy to say, but what are you basing it on?
The ancient ass of Kabbalah.
Oh, Kabbalah. All right. Something Madonna got into is suddenly the religion of our time.
No, honey, I happen to be Jewish, and it's something I've been studying for 6 years.
Okay,
but you know,
the Jews don't even allow women in the temple.
Wait, I am interested in this. So how we're picking up the slack for their lack of spirituality?
Women are just, you know, come into this world more spiritually evolved.
I mean, I agree with you.
Oh, you know.
It's end of discussion.
Well,
it's not the end of discussion. And that's the problem, as I'm sure you would agree, is that men in our society aren't just different. We're wrong. We're less. We're somehow needing to be civilized.
No, not at all. I mean, that's not what
you just said it.
No, that's not the point.
You said you're more evolved.
Too many women.
You're taking it like on some sort of earthly, the physical level.
You said you're more spiritually
No, I'm saying that women, part of our job is to do this, help men do their spiritual work. I don't think that's diminishing a man. It's just saying that, you know, we're talking about all this kind of physicality and, you know, this sort of angry, you know, dissertation about women kicking ass. On a certain level, that's our job. But I'm talking about, you know, bringing it to, you know, into some higher realm other than just the physical.
But, you know, there's not a lot of good evidence that women are kinder or more moral than men.
It's not necessarily about being kinder or more moral.
But you said you're spiritually higher than we are.
more involved in...
Wouldn't that be kinder and more moral?
Just on a strictly spiritual level, yes.
Well, I'm just
Women
speaking
that
more
doesn't mean,
spiritual.
that doesn't mean that every single woman, attains it or does their work. But if they
or
do,
does the best with it, but no.
If they do, if they're on the spiritual path, part of their work is to help elevate men's souls.
I'm so sorry. We'll be back. Well, the Chandra Levy, Congressman Gary Condit scandal, that is the story that just won't go away. Everyone now is weighing in. Today, O.J. Simpson and Robert Blake said if he did keep his wife and kill his girlfriend, it just shows how out of touch Washington is with real America. All right, I want to continue talking about this because this is, I've been going around with my new act around the country, and my act is called Nation. I don't know if you can say that.
Well, he said pussy galore.
That's right, same thing. Because I really believe, and I think you're a good ally for this, that this country is in trouble because men have given up the debate. Whatever women say, men just nod along. We don't know how to fight back. We don't know how to stick up for ourselves. When women say things like, we're more spiritually evolved, we just go, yeah, I guess that's right. And there's no evidence, and there's no reason to believe that's true.
You know what's easier, that last segment when we were just nodding along, didn't you think? It was less work, less stress. That's why we die before they do, because we get too worked up.
It wasn't meant to be a contentious statement.
But it is a contentious statement. How could it not be a contentious statement for you to say to me, I am more spiritually evolved than you, just because I say so?
No, but I qualified it by saying that...
No, just agree. That's why we get these heart attacks. We get all this
exactly.
Yeah, that's why.
No, that's why we die. They live to 85, 90 years old. It was a beautiful thing what you said. It was just
funny when, men are, hassled by women and so forth, but when it's little boys who are the target of this kind of hostility and animosity, then it's very serious. And what I found is that attitude of sort of belittling men, putting them down, that's carried now into the classroom. And you talk to almost any parent who has a boy in school, and being a boy is now considered like a pathology, a disorder, something he needs to recover from. There's intolerance of their high-spiritedness.
I mean, if only we would pay attention to all those school shootings done by all those girls, all those girl school shooters, all those girl serial killers.
Do you think that shooting at school is a typical boy behavior?
Let me ask anyone in the audience. Ask anyone in the audience here who they think, if they're afraid that somebody's going to break into their house tonight. First image that comes into your head, is it a woman? Is a woman going to come in your house and harm you? No one is afraid of a woman. Nobody buys a gun to have in their house because a woman is going to break into their house.
Right, but there's a lot of houses.
They're afraid of us for good reason, because we do it.
Yeah, and a lot of times the guy who breaks into the house is because some woman in his house is saying, get some money for us. You just do it.
Oh, Bill.
Oh, please. Right, there's no such thing as Lady Macbeth. There's no women behind men making them go out and do it because they wouldn't do it
themselves.
Some woman's
going out there and say, go out and rob the 7-Eleven right now or I'll kick your ass.
Yeah.
Oh. What neighborhood do you live in?
Here's where you're wrong. Here's where you're wrong. It's absolutely true, no discussion. The majority of violent felons are males, but the majority of males are not violent felons, okay? You have to follow that logic. The majority of little boys are not predators, they're not proto-harassers and aggressors, and yet increasingly they're treated that way in the classroom. And there are theories that are coming out of Harvard School of Education that little boys need to be transformed and re-socialized towards femininity, and I find that's rather hostile and intolerant.
Right, it's just that our point of view, and you're right, men are more aggressive. We are, of course we are. That is our nature. That is our biology.
And good things come from that. You see,
yes.
Too many feminists look at the serial killers and the mass murderers. They don't look at the creativity. They don't see what Camille Paglia is my favorite dissident feminist, and she said that masculinity is the most creative cultural force in history. She said she goes by across a bridge and she thinks
I understand identity, but we're being quite separatist and even feminine and masculine. I mean, let's go back to Jung's anima animus. Let's embrace what Jung's anima and animus theory and embrace both. I mean, I think
Carl
that
Jung,
it's quite
Carl Jung. Yeah.
What is that theory? Because I forgot.
So we each inherently have.
I was on the tip of my tongue, but I forgot.
Yes.
Carl Jung, yes.
I think that to me, we're being very separatist in using these labels.
Masculinity and femininity?
Well, what is that theory?
Well, putting them in such stereotypical nature.
I don't mean to do that. I think 20%, as many as 20% of kids will defy a stereotype, and everyone here in some way will defy it. But overall, there are boys, there are girls, and they do embody stereotypes.
When you say that the majority of men are not violent, even though the majority of violent things that happen are caused by men, I mean, it's like saying, well, the majority of sharks don't, you know, eat humans. But if you had a choice, if there was a pool outside right now and there's two pools, there's a shark in one and there's a minnow in the other, which one are you going to go in?
Yeah, but let me
go in the one with a minnow.
Yes.
Who's having a spirituality?
But that's a good example because. But again, I'm glad you brought that up as an analogy because yes, it was an analogy because no shark would really ever attack a human except for other circumstances. We do too much fishing, and that's why they come close to the coastal waters and eat people. They don't want to eat people.
All those female fishermen are doing all that extra fishing, ruining the oceans. It's the men ruining the oceans. Name a woman who's ruined the ocean.
But women are eating the fish, too. You know what?
Michael, what happened? I mean, how did you become so disparaging of your sex? You have to have a little more
I'm not disparaging. I want to live as long as you. I want to sit here and agree with you. I'm trying to calm down and just kind of accept your position that feminism has ruined the world, not men.
Please. I'm a feminist. I believe in equity and in basic fairness, and I became a feminist in the 70s because I didn't like male chauvinism, but it's the new millennium, and now there's a lot of chauvinism on the other side, by women to men. And men can handle it, little boys cannot, and that's what I talked about.
I got to take another commercial. We'll be back.
Join us tomorrow, and our guest will be actor and recording artist David Cassidy, syndicated columnist Ariana Hoffington, host of Uncabaret Beth Lapidus, and author Tony Perkins.
A warning to all you computer pranksters out there. In the UK, a teenage hacker got sentenced to psychiatric treatment. He was using, get this, Bill Gates' credit card information to send Bill Gates Viagra. Gates had no comments on this but he did change the name of the company today to Micro Hard. Okay, we're talking about women and feminism, and this is the whole thing. Women, I'm contending here that they want to be protected. They don't want to kick ass.
Who the hell doesn't want to be protected?
I was just going to say they
But we don't have the option. We have to do the protecting.
No, you don't. Everybody should protect everybody, and that's the way it should be.
What does that mean? Who wouldn't applaud that? What does it mean, though?
That means when you're freaking out and you wake up in the middle of the night from a bad dream and it's in the sweats and there's somebody there with you that you can turn to that person and go, I'm freaking out. I need your protection. I need your love. It doesn't always have to be on a physical level.
But sometimes it is on a physical level.
But we've covered that. It's enough already. It's like we've covered it. We're here. We're responsible as human beings to love one another and protect each other from the negativity and the pain and all the
yeah,
it's enough of this.
Some of us get more of that onus than others. You know, the military, for example. I mean, I know we have to feminize the military, but when it really comes down to it, we want someone who's going to do the dirty work for us. We want the military to be prepared, but we don't want them to, like, bomb any island so that they know how to do it when the time comes. You know, that would be awful if we actually let the military train because, you know, God forbid, it might upset someone's vacation plans.
Well, it's a scandal that our military increasingly is being challenged legally in every way, and there's no way in which they can practice before they go into combat. So we're sending servicemen
last time they went into combat in Iraq, they were barely there. They were in planes, you know, they were controlled by machines. I mean,
last time I was in Kosovo,
and people preparing for war is such a crock of crap.
Yeah,
They don't, and people don't know how to shoot guns.
You'd be
pick up a
speaking
gun
German now if someone didn't do that for you.
It was a different time. We weren't under the technological, you know.
What's the threat right now? Why are we having to bomb in order? Who are we protecting ourselves? Who's going to invade
Shouldn't
us?
we be ready in case?
Well, ready's one thing, but spending the billions that we continue to spend when these schools here, like in Los Angeles, are falling down. The kids are reading textbooks from the 1970s. You know, it's just that's what the crock of crap is.
I have to take another commercial. We'll be right back. All right, there's the book, The War Against Boys. Read that one, you damn dirty ape. Tomorrow, David Cassidy, Ariana Huffington, Beth Lapidus, and Tony Perkins.